Okay, let's discuss on the tutorial inheritance. So based on this tutorial, you are given a question based on the rental service online. So this application, rental service online, provides rental services for terrace houses and condominium unit. So despite a system or an application, it's provide the services for the rental services. So type of properties that being include are terrace houses and condominium units. So the company needs a system to handle its monthly rental collection from tenants. So the following class is used to represent a house for rent. Okay, for example, it give the basic class is public class house. So this one, public class house, is the class for this system. So under this class, we have a variable tenant, means tenant name, the one who rents the properties, and then it also has the IC number, address, and then it create the constructor method of constructor, public house. So under the constructor, it have the three arguments: string name, string IC, string address. Okay, so this one is for address, this one for IC's number, this one is for the name. So the data that the constructor get, okay, from this method, it will assign to this variable. So this variable is belong to class house. Okay, this one class house, this one is the variable under the class house. So this method under this constructor will be given to this tenant, IC number, and address. So we assign this variable or this value into this type of variable for the class of house. So that's mean when you create one object of the house, it will assign name, IC, and the address to this variable. Okay, the next part, it has three methods. So the first method, public string get tenant. So this method return the value of string. Okay, this one is string, so the value written is tenant string value. And then the second method, public string get IC number, so it return the value of IC number. And the third method, public string get address, so it will return the address value to the application. So we look for the first question. The first one, define a class terrace to represent a terrace house by using the concept of inheritance. So based on this first sentence, you need to understand that you need to define a class or create a class named terrace. So this class terrace will represent in inheritance concept. The next sentence, the data members of this class are type single story or double story. So that means there are two type of terrace house. One is single story, another one is double story, and corner lot status yes or no. So you need to identify or define either that terrace house is single story or double story, and either it is a corner lot or not. So the status is yes and no. So based on the status yes and no, you can use the boolean as the variable data type. So the class should have a method to calculate. So you need to remember, when you create the class of terrace, you must have a method that able to calculate and return the rent based on the following table. So you need to create a program or class that based on this table. Type, you have two types, single story or double story. Corner lot yes or no. And the price rent per month is based on the type as well as the corner lot. So let's say the type is single story and corner lot is yes. so the price is 2,000. If the terrace house is single story but it is not a corner lot house, so the price will be 1,500. Okay, the next one, if the terrace house is double story and it is a corner lot, so the price will be 3,000. And if it is a double story house and there it is not a corner lot, so the rent will be 2,500. So based on this information, you need to define your class of terrace. You must have the concept of inheritance, and your type of terrace is based on single and double story, and then corner lot or not corner lot. So the suggest answer or the proposed answer will be like this one. First, you need to create class terrace. So this class terrace is inheritance concept, so it extend from the house class based on your question. So this one, and then based on the explanation or description, you can have the private string for time, either double story or single story, so time, and then private boolean corner lot. So we use the boolean as the variable data type because it is true or no, yes or no. So you can use the boolean data type. Okay, next point, you can have the constructor public terrace. Okay, so under the constructor, you can have argument name, IC number, string address, data type. This one is type of your terrace, and then boolean for the corner lot or not, status corner lot or not. And then you can get from the super class, which is the house class. So you can use super, name, IC, and address. So this one you inherited from the house class. And then under the constructor, okay, this type you assign to this type under the terrace class, and then the lot you assign to the corner lot here. Okay, the next point, you need to create a method in order to get type. So this method get type will return the type of the house, and then a method to get the corner lot to identify either it is a corner lot or not. Okay, and then you need to create another method in order to calculate the price, because based on the question it asks for the calculation. So you need to create a method in order to calculate the price of rental for based on the type of terrace house as well as the status of corner lot or not. So you can create public double calculate rental price. So double here means it will return the value of floating double. Okay, that's the type of double. So if type equal single story and if corner lot, so it will return 2,000 ringgit. Else it will return 1,500 ringgit. Okay, else means that this type is not equal to single story. That means it is double story. So when double story, and if it is a corner lot, so it will return 3,000 ringgit. If not, it will return 2,500. So done for question number A. Okay, based on this question, you need to define a class terrace, and the information is based on this table.